I'm going to talk about one of my favorite films of all time. It's called The Island.
The Island.
It stars Ethan Hawke
Into tiny pieces and blood.
and Scarlett Johansson.
What are we?
You know, Ethan Hawke from one of my favorite movies, probably my favorite movie ever, Star Wars: The Phantom Menace.
Oh, muy, I love you.
Have you seen that movie? You know, Darth Maul's in it. And he's got like red and black skin, and he's got like a double lightsaber. He's fighting people, and he like cuts people with it and stuff. And then Ethan Hawke, my boy, Ethan Hawke, does like a flip. You know, like a flip up onto it and cuts him in half. Yeah, you've seen it. You know what movie I'm talking about. Ethan Hawke, right? So picture this. Ethan Hawke, Scarlett Johansson, they're on an island.
The Island.
That's why the movie is called The Island.
The Island.
Because they're on an island.
The Island.
Now, the whole world is contaminated with a virus, except for one island.
The Island.
And these people, Ethan Hawke and Scarlett Johansson, they are in a group of people who are healthy. They haven't been contaminated with the virus. So they're in this facility.
Attention.
And their dream is to go to the island.
The Island.
They're not on the island yet.
The Island.
No, they want to go to the island
The Island.
someday. So they're not on the island.
The Island.
They're in the facility, but with a lot of other people. And every so often there's a lottery.
Come to the lottery spin.
And like the Powerball or, you know, all that good stuff, they get selected
To Delta.
to go to the island
The Island.
eventually. And that's their dream, you know. And it's sort of like a perfect world. Like there's no, you know, they're not hungry, nothing. But then all of a sudden, Ethan Hawke, he starts to get a little nervous. You know, he starts to wonder, like, you know, what is the island?
The Island. Going to the island.
There is no island.
Like, what am I? Like, who am I? You know, those existential questions that you will find in a Michael Bay movie. And so then, you know, what happens is he starts investigating.
Come on.
And suddenly he sees a butterfly.
SD card.
And that butterfly tells him, wait a second, if everything's contaminated outside, then is the island real?
The Island.
Am I real? Like, what's going on here? And then, guess what happens? Then he sneaks into the secret place, and suddenly he sees dudes getting capped with, like, harpoon guns shot in their legs. Harpoon guns shot in their legs. And getting pulled, you know, like boom. It's crazy. Like, all of a sudden, Tiny Lister's there, and he's getting shot in the legs with harpoon guns. What do you do with that? It's crazy. It's crazy. But then he wants to get out. He like, obviously something bad's happening, right? So he's like, I gotta get out of here. This is craziness.
Two of our products have escaped.
It's like they're killing people here. People are dying. So then he sneaks off with Scarlett Johansson, and they're on the run, right? And they find this other guy, and he tells them, guess what? You're all clones.
You're clones.
Clones. Answer, the mystery, everything, clones. They're clones! Clones! And then, here's the catcher. Here's the craziest part of everything. Is suddenly, he finds a guy that he's a clone of. And he says, oh, can you help me? Like, I'm your clone. Like, and the guy's like, oh, man, yeah, I'll help you. But guess what? It's a trick.
I'll try spinning. That's a good trick.
It's not real. He's not really going to help him. He doesn't want to help him because he's his clone and he wants to harvest his organs. Yeah.
Sick and they need a new part, they take it from you.
That's what all these clones are about, is so that you can harvest their organs, so that they're compatible donors. So people can live longer, they can have healthier lives, you know, which doesn't sound all that bad, except for when you're murdering people. So guess what? Then, that guy's actually betrays him, himself, his own person, his twin, his clone, whatever, betrays him. And then, they're on the run. And guess what? Because it's a Michael Bay movie, you know what's going to happen? The greatest thing that has ever graced a cinematic screen. Explosions! Like, just explosions everywhere. There's cars flipping on the highway, there's a chase scene.
Looking for you.
Everything. Going all over craziness. Oh man, it's awesome.
Good job.
Awesome. And you know, I'm so glad. You know, because I saw a movie recently with Ewan McGregor, and it was called Gattaca.
Welcome to Gattaca.
And in this movie, like, there wasn't any explosions. Like, it was just kind of boring. But it was like a sci-fi movie, like in the future, sort of like The Island.
The Island.
But like, nothing happened. They just sort of talked. And then I guess it was like they sort of ran. There was a scene where they ran. They were getting chased. But I don't even... Like, it's boring. Nothing's happening. The characters, there's no explosions. There's no gunfights. Like, nothing's going on. It's just people talking and walking around. Like, how is this a sci-fi movie? When I go to see a sci-fi movie, I want to see explosions and gunfights. That's why Michael Bay is so successful at making sci-fi films. That's why he's made some of the best sci-fi films of all time. You know, like Transformers and The Rock. And, well, it's not really a sci-fi movie per se, but it does have, like, science fiction in it because there's, like, this poison and stuff. So I guess it could sort of be like that if you're into that, like, the science part of science fiction. I'm more into the fiction part of science fiction myself. But what else? Michael Bay. Of course, the greatest movie of all time, Armageddon, which I saw it at the store the other day, and it was released by something called the Criterion Collection, and I was like, oh man, like, I want to see the rest of the movies in this collection, because if Michael Bay is in this collection, then I'll like everything else in it, you know what I mean? But the majority of stuff in this collection was subtitled with, like, it was like foreign, like I couldn't even read the name. It was like Wild Strawberry Straubers or something. I don't even know. Like, I can't even make that stuff up. Like, I it's crazy. But so I don't know why it was in that collection. But Armageddon, great movie. You know, he made Deep Impact, I'm pretty sure. Deep Blue Sea, Deep Blue, all kinds of crazy stuff he's made because he's just like that awesome. Probably my favorite director, Michael Bay. But it was back to the island.
The island.
So at the end, what do you think is going to happen? They win. They win. The good guys win. And compared to Gattaca, which I also saw recently, like, just depressing and sad and weird, and like, what you going to do with that? You know, I want to be uplifted by a film. I don't want to have to think about myself or my position in the world. Like, that's for other people to do. What I want to do when I watch a movie is to just be like amused. You know what I mean? Like, just like shut my brain off for a while. Don't think critically, nothing like that. That's for other people. For me, like, for everyone, I think. Like, really, honestly, stop wasting your time thinking about movies and stuff like that with any deeper meaning. Just go for the explosions, go for the gunfights. And if you get the moment, you get the time, watch The Island.
The island.
Because that is a legit science fiction film, and you will enjoy it.
Explosion! Fly, fox!